Pacific Grove is a coastal city in Monterey County, California in the United States. The United States Census Bureau estimated its 2013 population at 15,504. Pacific Grove is located between Point Pinos and Monterey. Nicknamed America's Last Hometown, Pacific Grove is known for its Victorian homes, Asilomar State Beach, its artistic legacy, and also known as the Butterfly Town, USA, for the annual migration of the monarch butterflies. The city is endowed with more Victorian houses per capita than anywhere else in America. Some of them have been turned into bed and breakfast inns. The city is also known as the location of the Point Pinos Lighthouse, the oldest continuously operating lighthouse on the West Coast. Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History, located in the historic downtown. The Stavitz Museum and Library in one of the filming locations for Roger Spottiswood's 1989 film Turner and Hooch. History. In prehistoric times, the Rumsen were one of the linguistically distinct Ohlone groups of the Monterey Bay Area who inhabited the area now known as Pacific Grove. This tribe subsisted with hunting, fishing and gathering in what has been deduced as a biologically rich Monterey Peninsula. Pacific Grove was founded in 1875 by a group of Methodists who modeled the town after Ocean Grove, New Jersey. In time, the butterflies, fragrant pines and fresh sea air brought others to the Pacific Grove retreat to rest and meditate. The initial camp meeting of the Pacific Coast branch of the Chautauqua Literary and Scientific Circle was held in Pacific Grove in June 1879. Modeled after the Methodist Sunday School Teachers Training Camp established in 1874 at Chautauqua Lake, New York. This location became part of a nationwide educational network. In November 1879, after the summer campers returned home, Robert Louis Stevenson wandered into the deserted campgrounds. "I have never been in any place so dreamlike. Indeed, it was not so much like a deserted town as like a scene upon the stage by daylight, and with no one on the boards." Today, Stevenson School in nearby Pebble Beach is named after the author. The Pacific Grove Post Office opened in 1886, closed later that year, and was reopened in 1887. Pacific Grove incorporated in 1889. Pacific Grove, like Carmel by the Sea and Monterey, became an artist's haven in the 1890s and subsequent period. Artists of the Plein Air School in both Europe and the United States were seeking an outdoor venue which had natural beauty, so that Pacific Grove was a magnet for this movement. William Adam was an English painter who first moved to Monterey and then decided on Pacific Grove for his home in 1906. At about the same time, Eugen Neuhaus, a German painter, arrived in Pacific Grove with his new bride. Charles B. Judson was an artist of aristocratic lineage who painted in Pacific Grove over a long period of time beginning in 1907. Judson's murals decorate the halls of the California Academy of Sciences. For a number of years, John Steinbeck lived in a cottage in Pacific Grove owned by his father, Ernest, who was Monterey County treasurer. The cottage still stands on a quiet side street at 147 11th Street, without any plaque or special sign, virtually overlooked by most Steinbeck fans. Another Steinbeck-related house is at 222 Central Avenue, which was his grandmother's house. A golden statue of Steinbeck in the front yard stood for years before it was removed. In Steinbeck's book Sweet Thursday, a chapter is dedicated to describing a rivalry that arose among the town's residents over the game of roque. Local traditions include a butterfly parade, in which elementary school children dress in various costumes and march through town, and the Feast of Lanterns, a Chinese-style pageant in which a high school girl and her companions act out a melodrama. In the 1980s, Pacific Grove was the site of the pioneering microcomputer software house Digital Research. In recent years, Pacific Grove has seen a decrease in its population of young people with children. Due to the high cost of housing and the mismatch between housing prices and the incomes available from the primarily tourist-centered local economy. On October 12, 1997, John Denver died when he crashed into the Pacific Ocean off Pacific Grove in his personal plane. Environmental features and geography. Pacific Grove contains several habitat types including marine, littoral, pine forest and mixed oak woodland. The famed breeding habitat for the monarch butterfly is situated in the southern part of town, embedded in residential neighborhoods in mixed oak forests. These monarchs migrate 2,000 miles to reach Pacific Grove after their summer in Canada, often soaring as high as 3,000 meters. The black and orange butterflies spend much of the fall and winter in the local Monterey pine trees, roughly from Halloween until Valentine's Day. Residents of Pacific Grove help the butterflies' habitat by planting purple and yellow flowers, such as lantana, yellow aster, pride of Madeira, and Mexican sage, in what are called butterfly gardens. City Ordinance No. 352 makes it a misdemeanor to kill or threaten a butterfly, punishable by a $1,000 fine. Pacific Grove Marine Gardens State Marine Conservation Area, Lovers Point State Marine Reserve, Edward F. Ricketts State Marine Conservation Area and Asilomar State Marine Reserve are marine protected areas in the waters around Pacific Grove. Like underwater parks, these marine protected areas help conserve ocean wildlife and marine ecosystems. The principal noise source in Pacific Grove is State Route 68. There are approximately 800 residents exposed to sound levels of 60 kL or above, making Pacific Grove noticeably quieter than its neighbor Monterey, which has more tourist traffic and more through traffic. The town sits between its two well-known neighbors, Pebble Beach and Monterey. Carmel by the Sea is the next city, 5 miles to the south, and the community of Big Sur is 30 miles south. Pacific Grove is a favorite vacation getaway for San Francisco Bay Area residents, located 2.5 hours south of San Francisco. The town does not allow development on the water side of the oceanfront street, so that the beaches and scenic points are unobstructed. Plans for the two private residential parcels on the water side of the street about 1/2 mile north of Asilomar State Beach were the center of local controversy several years ago. Pacific Grove is located at 36 degrees 37 minutes 9 seconds north, 121 degrees 55 minutes 16 seconds west, 36.61917 degrees north, 121.92111 degrees west, 36.61917 minus 121.92111. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 4.0 square miles. 2.9 square miles of it is land and 1.1 square miles of it is water. Asilomar, Lovers Point and the intervening coastline afford surfing, which is challenging due to near-shore rocks, albeit waves are typically moderate in height. Pacific Grove's climate is mild throughout the year, essentially the same as in neighboring Monterey, with most of the rain falling from November through April. Extreme temperatures are rare and fog is common, especially in the late night and early morning. All year climate, this region experiences warm and dry summers, with no average monthly temperatures above 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. According to the Köppen climate classification system, Pacific Grove has a warm summer Mediterranean climate, abbreviated CSB, on climate maps. Government. Pacific Grove is governed by City Council consisting of a mayor and 6 council members, all elected at large. As of January 2015, the mayor was Bill Camp, and Robert Hewitt served as mayor pro tempore. The remaining council members were Ken Cuneo, Rudy Fisher, Casey Lucius, Daniel Miller, and Bill Peake. At the county level, Pacific Grove is represented on the Monterey County Board of Supervisors by Supervisor Dave Potter. In the California State Assembly, Pacific Grove is represented by Mark Stone as part of the 29th Assembly District. In the California State Senate, it is represented by Bill Monning as part of the 17th Senate District. In the United States House of Representatives, Pacific Grove is in California's 20th Congressional District, represented by Democrat Sam Farr. Demographics 2010. The 2010 United States Census reported that Pacific Grove had a population of 15,041. The population density was 3,758.1 people per square mile. The racial makeup of Pacific Grove was 12,710 white, 199 African American, 78 Native American, 872 Asian, 49 Pacific Islander, 469 from other races, and 664 from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 1,615 persons. The census reported that 14,686 people lived in households, 140 lived in non-institutionalized group quarters, and 215 were institutionalized. There were 7,020 households, out of which 1,526 had children under the age of 18 living in them. 2,934 were opposite-sex married couples living together. 653 had a female householder with no husband present. 233 had a male householder with no wife present. There were 349 unmarried opposite-sex partnerships, and 58 same-sex married couples or partnerships. 2,609 households were made up of individuals and 1,012 had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.09. There were 3,820 families. The average family size was 2.74. The population was spread out with 2,479 people under the age of 18, 988 people aged 18 to 24, 3,466 people aged 25 to 44. 4,864 people aged 45 to 64, and 3,244 people who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 48.1 years. For every 100 females there were 85.2 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 81.1 males. There were 8,169 housing units at an average density of 2,041.1 per square mile, of which 3,205 were owner-occupied, and 3,815 were occupied by renters. The homeowner vacancy rate was 3.8%. The rental vacancy rate was 4.4%. 7,071 people lived in owner-occupied housing units and 7,615 people lived in rental housing units. 2000. As of the census of 2000, there were 15,522 people, 7,316 households, and 3,972 families residing in the city. The population density was 5,399.2 people per square mile. There were 8,032 housing units at an average density of 2,793.9 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 88.04% white, 1.14% African American, 0.55% Native American, 4.50% Asian, 0.26% Pacific Islander, 1.78% from other races, and 3.73% from two or more races. 7.14% of the population were Hispanic. There were 7,316 households, out of which 21.6% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 41.7% were married couples living together. 9.6% had a female householder with no husband present, and 45.7% were non-families. 36.8% of all households were made up of individuals and 14.2% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.10 and the average family size was 2.75. The age distribution is 17.8% under the age of 18, 5.7% from 18 to 24, 27.0% from 25 to 44, 29.9% from 45 to 64, and 19.6% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 45 years. For every 100 females there were 85.8 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 81.5 males. The median income for a household in the city was $50,254, and the median income for a family was $59,569. Males had a median income of $43,897 versus $35,924 for females. The per capita income for the city was $31,277. Notable residents: John Beale, film and television composer; Ernest K. Bramblett, politician; Eleanor Cameron, author; Joseph Campbell, mythologist; Peter S. Fisher, writer and producer; Paul Fleischman, author; Ben Jealous, NAACP president; Janis Joplin, singer; Slim Keith, socialite and fashion icon; Gary Kildall, scientist and founder of Digital Research; Peter Koper, writer and producer; Ward Moore, science fiction writer; Arthur Porges, science fiction writer; Gina Prince Bythewood, film director and writer; Clark Ashton Smith, fantasy fiction writer; John Steinbeck, author; Bill Walsh, American football coach; Frank Zappa, composer; Lawrence Yep, children's book author; John Arthur Galvin, consumer of fine whiskies; Lady Killer. Media. See also: Media in Monterey County. Local radio stations include KAZU-FM 90.3. Television service for the community comes from the Monterey Salinas Santa Cruz designated market area. Local newspapers include the Cedar Street Times and Monterey County Herald.